What's up, NFL fans? Here I'm going to do the AFC East under center. It's all about the quarterback. Obviously, with these videos, I'm previewing each team's quarterback, their quarterback situation, past, present, and future. I love the history of football. I'm pretty decent knowledge base about it. And the quarterback position, obviously, is one of the most polarizing positions in sports. Aside from like an ace on a pitching staff, a shutdown pitcher who's just almost as dominant as could be. I can remember Greg Maddux during the '95 season of the Atlanta Braves championship year, how just dominant he was. He didn't throw hard. He wasn't overpowering. The guy was just unhittable, and he didn't walk anybody. He just had amazing control, and that's kind of how a quarterback is. A guy who has command, control, is just stoic leader. Those are the things that are just. I think it's just one of the most fascinating things out of position because there's so many elements that go into being a good quarterback aside from the physical stuff, because I think the physical stuff is just veneer. How far a guy throws, how tall he is, how fast he runs, all those other things. It's just the game for a quarterback is so neck up between the ears. It's that's definitely a thinking man's position, and guys like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees maybe didn't have as good a physical skill set as some other guys, but are definitely more for the wear because of the mental aspect of the game, their attention to detail, their focus, their leadership, and attributed obviously because of their success. It's there's no accident there. So as the aforementioned Tom Brady, he is the and has been, and until he retires, for me, he'll be the 10,000 pound elephant in the room in the AFC East as far as quarterbacks go. I know Patriot fans are definitely probably perturbed by the recent performances in the last three games, and just I'm curious to see where their heads are at with Tom Brady. Are they leery, afraid that he's on the decline? His that he's getting older, maybe his skill set or his physical abilities are starting to erode, or is it just due to the fact that it's all the inconsistencies at the receiver position, the lack of Gronkowski, the whole unfortunate deal with Hernandez and Vereen and the injuries, all these things, all these unforeseen factors playing into it. A couple of things for me. I think it's probably it's never one thing. I think it's always a combination of both. I think it's more so my own personal opinion the fact that he's a creature of habit. He's used to his guys, and you saw it. He was very comfortable going to Edelman early, and when Amendola was healthy, he was targeting him exclusively, and then Amendola kind of followed his track record as a player and just continued to keep getting hurt and just can't stay on the field. I kind of think that the Patriots front office is kicking themselves a little bit for not just re-signing Wes Walker, because him and Brady were like peanut butter and jelly. He's a guy who moved the sticks, extended drives, wasn't the flashy wide receiver that everybody likes in terms of the size and the speed. Just found the soft spot and would get the first downs and continue drives. And Amendola tried filling that void till he got hurt. Edelman's tried to do a good job, and he has. Gronkowski got back last week. I thought Brady fell in love a little bit with just trying to force feed the ball to him because he was so happy to have him back, and he underthrew a pass that got intercepted and returned for a touchdown, very un-Brady like. So again, I'm curious to see where Patriot fans' heads are at. Are they worried that he's on the decline? Are they worried that that this might be the twilight, or is it just what, all his guys in and out, um, not being around. Vereen gonna be back soon. Just getting back to getting a rapport with his receivers that he's used to, and he'll be back to the same old Brady. So again, I'm curious to see where Patriot fans are with Tom Brady, and if they're confident with him, in the next few years. I'm sure that's where his contract is at. So he's definitely going to be their starter for the next 2 years minimum. Now on to the next team, the New York Jets, team that just beat the New England Patriots, and they have invested a second round pick into a quarterback that many felt was the best quarterback going into the draft, but a lot of little issues in terms of his attention and or whatnot or lack thereof that he had, a little bit of entitled attitude. And Gino hasn't really made any waves or anything like that. I was a big fan of him coming out, and he's been a Jekyll and Hyde quarterback. He has a game like the Atlanta game where he looks every bit the part of a quarterback that should have been taken first overall. Then he has a game like the Titan game where he's a train wreck, and you're like, oh my God, this guy is worse than Sanchez. And I think, being a rookie, he's just got to find that consistency. And the unfortunate thing with him for Jeff fans is he's kind of guaranteed to give you one big mistake a game. Like last week, the pick six, fumble. He's just really got to minimize those. Like in the Atlanta game, no turnovers, played a clean football game. And there's been a couple other games where he survived turnovers, but you can't continue to keep, walking that jagged edge. You definitely can't have turnovers from your quarterback. Trust me, as a Bills fan watching Ryan Fitzpatrick, I know that better than anyone. And turnover machine. Jet fans with Mark Sanchez, turnover machine. It's a killer. But Gino, a rookie still, got back to running the football a lot more. It definitely helped him out, and that's what rookie quarterbacks need in terms of the comfort, settling down, and that'll go into the next quarterback I'm about to talk about with the Miami Dolphins and Ryan Tannehill. I'm sure Dolphin fans are now torn after a 3-0 start. Tannehill looked good, had some comebacks in those games, and now 3 straight losses. It's like, where are we now? And Tannehill, people kind of forget that he only started playing quarterback 3 years ago. He was a wide receiver, converted to quarterback at Texas A&M, hooked up with Mike Sherman, his old OC, and that was supposed to be like a good marriage there. And now you have another offensive guy, Philbin, and he's more of a pass happy guy coming from Green Bay, used to Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and he's making this kid throw an awful lot behind a not so good offensive line and not running the football. I think they have 2 talented running backs in Lamar Miller, and I think Thomas is a decent back, he's more of a backup back to me. I think Miller is the home run hitter and the guy that should be getting fed the ball a lot more down in Miami. And it really hasn't worked out to where they want to give those guys the football much. And they're having Tannehill drop back, take a lot of sacks. He's getting hit, fumbling. He seems a little rattled at times, waiting for the hit, so he's fluttering balls. A couple got intercepted. Last week against the Bills, he's a young guy. You can't give up on him right away, but it's one of those things where they spent so much money. Is the owner going to say to the GM that he just signed to a contract extension, by the way, look, you've been here for a long time, you've drafted these guys, it hasn't worked out, we're going to go in a different direction. If they go in a different direction, Philbin's gone, the staff is gone, and you can't give up on Tannehill right away, but do they want to bring in their own guy? Because that's what it always comes down to. These guys want to stamp. They don't want to win with somebody else's guy. And if Tannehill wins and plays well, that's great. But these guys have a lot of ego behind them, whether they're front office guys, coaches. So it's gonna be interesting, But you know what they say: winning solves everything. They play the Patriots this week, gives Tannehill a chance to go redeem himself against the Patriots team defensively that looks pretty vulnerable right now. Now on to my Buffalo Bills. Sorry about that. Talk about a mess. I mean, not a mess in the sense that there's problems at the position, injury problems, yes. And I'm very happy, with what EJ Manuel was able to do so far. Even Thad Lewis has came in and played admirably. I would have rather seen a Thad Lewis type quarterback than a Kevin Kolb or one of those type guys. It's just a veteran guy, yes, but Kevin Kolb to me, he's a backup quarterback, and just with his concussion issues, it's not a guy you want to run out there, because the last thing you want to see is a guy getting run out in an ambulance with his head and his neck in a halo or some immobilizing device. It's just a paralyzed situation, a guy that goes into a coma because he's got concussion issues. And his last concussion, he said it took him months to stop having headaches, and that's a scary deal. And I don't want any part of that. I don't think any team should want any part of that as an organization, because that's, you tell the guy, look, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Football's great, but you want to walk around and be able to talk, walk, and live your life outside of football. But like I said, that Lewis has came in and he's done an okay job for a guy that was on the practice squad, a guy that they brought in late. I think he's done a pretty good job. If nothing else, I think Buffalo's found themselves a very solid backup going forward. He's mobile. He's definitely got a good arm, and you don't really have to change the offense much, if at all, from whether Manuel's in there or he's in there. But I'm definitely anxious to see Manuel get back in there ASAP and start playing more, start developing, and just seeing defenses playing the game at full speed, and hopefully that knee gets better as soon as possible and he can get back out there. All right, fans of the AFC East and their teams, I'm curious to see your opinions, feedback, like I say at the end of all my videos, about your team's quarterback going forward, current, and future. All right, guys, you have a good one and take care.